Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and this is the Sog Tac AU. It's an automatic USA-made knife from Sog. I will admit right now that I am on the fence about it. I do have quite a few negatives I'll bring up towards the end, but I do love that Sog is doing... They're making a lot of strides towards making better knives, and I love that. And I've seen massive improvements across the board from them, so I do appreciate that. And there are quite a few models that I do like from Sog, especially as of recently, not from the past, but from recently, and I would love to get more and more on the channel. Now, this one is an automatic, and it uses a crossbar lock. Aluminum handles, Cryo D2 steel, and the aluminum handles are super thin. They have nice machine lines on the sides, so offer some good traction. It does have a reversible deep carry clip that makes it completely ambidextrous. And the way you deploy it is you just pull down on the crossbar lock, and it deploys. Now, it also has a little feature here that makes it to where you can, in the closed position, you can push that button up, and it basically adds a safety. So instead of you having to pull down a safety here and then firing it, it's all one motion, the same exact motion you would use no matter what. So if you want to make it to where it's not going to go off in your pocket or anything like that, you can just push that up, and then it's just a little bit more power. So it offers a little bit more strength, almost like it has a detent in the way, and then you pop past that, and it'll deploy. I notice if I slap it, if I close it hard, it'll automatically go in that position. So it's very easy to make sure that it locks up, without, because if you shut it soft, now it has a soft opening. But if you did close it soft, you can just push it up. Now, the spring, to me, it's a little lazy. That's one thing, and like I said, we'll talk about the negatives in the end, but it does fire. It fires reliably, and it's a decent deployment. It feels very reliable as far as opening goes. But when you close it, you can easily close it one-handed because the spring is not very strong. I can even close it one-handed without using my other hand, because the spring is not very strong. Now, as far as geometry goes, the blade stock thickness is relatively thin, considering for Sog. The thinness behind the edge, yeah, it's a little bit more on the robust side, but it'll pass through materials just fine. Good ergonomics. Like I said, it's very slim in the hand. The whole thing, very lightweight, very slim. You can always choke up to get nice and close to the edge for heavy-duty push cuts. This does come in many different, or not many, but a few different options. You have a drop point one. This is the Tonto. They also have a California legal small one. So depending on what you want, they have, a few different options. They even have a serrated version. And, like I said, I think it's a great, lightweight, USA-made EDC knife. And I think the Cryo D2 is going to be possibly, I haven't tested it, but hopefully be a little bit better than some of the Chinese D2 we see. Let's talk about the negatives, because I do have quite a few. One, in the closed position, it feels like it has detent lash. I know it's technically not detent lash, but that's what it feels like. So I don't like that. The next thing, when you go to close it and it gets past a certain point, it feels spongy. There's no resistance. Nothing is stopping it right here. Like it feels spongy. And it makes it feel cheap. It cheapens the knife a little bit. Like there's just nothing there. And yeah, like I said, cheapens the knife. It feels spongy. Next thing, sharpening tool and plunge grind is the edge. To sharpen this edge, it is so close to the scale here, and this is aluminum. So you're 100% going to hit this, whether you're using a fixed angled system or a freehand stone. And any sharpening stone, no matter what you use, will scratch this aluminum. So I wish they would have moved this forward so it's easier to get to the back of the edge without hitting the aluminum. Also, the plunge grind lands on the edge. I don't like that. It's going to create a smile. Is it that big of a deal? I think so. Like I said, I would like to see it just moved up. Now, the next thing is, like I said, the spring is just it feels so weak. You know, it just doesn't. I wish it had more smack. You know, I wish it smacked harder. I wish the resistant was a little bit stronger. Now, I do appreciate being able to close it one-handed, but you know, not at the sacrifice of having a strong, powerful opening. Now, the next thing is, you know, and this doesn't really matter that much. It's a deep carry clip, but they put the damn lanyard hole on top of the clip. Like, why? Why not move the clip up a little bit higher? And, you know, maybe I'm wrong about this because maybe it might be more annoying in the hand if it was lower. So maybe it's okay. I'll be honest, though, I do still feel the clip quite a bit because the handle is so thin. You can see where it was. You can feel it quite a bit because, you know, it's a deep carry clip and it's such a slim knife. Not that big of a deal, though. Next thing, the lockup, there's a little bit of up and down, a little bit of side to side. I don't think that's a bad thing. They're so bad because it's a crossbar lock. So a crossbar lock, just because you have a little tiny bit, doesn't mean it's going to fail or anything like that. It's still going to be very strong. However, I would really like to see it rock solid, you know. I understand having a little bit of side to side. You know, it has phosphor bronze washers. It's an automatic. I get all that. But I would prefer the up and down to be rock solid. Now, I will say, when I was looking down in here, looking at the crossbar lock, hopefully I'll get a zoom in of it, I can see that the way the spring goes, it's almost like it has a paddle on it that hits the crossbar, which I found pretty interesting. I haven't taken it apart or anything like that, but it doesn't look like your typical Omega springs or whatever, but I haven't taken it apart. Now, all in all, it's a cool knife. You know, it's USA made, like I said, which I do like. Yes, it's on the upper tier of money when it comes to D2 and aluminum. However, it's USA made, so that's going to cost something. I think it's fairly well done. I do appreciate they didn't put SOG on every single part of the knife they possibly could have. They left a lot of this side just plain. You have the little tiny SOG right there. And on this side, yeah, there's a bunch of billboarding there, but not as bad as they used to do in the past. So I'm happy with that. And all in all, you know, I'm sure it's a good, reliable knife that'll work out in the field and probably work for a very, very long time. I'm just not a big fan of it. I really like their XR locks, and I'd like to try more of those. I was hoping I was going to like this one more, you know, especially being the USA made line from SOG. But you know, if you like it, good. And I love that for you. It's just personally not one for me. There's just too many things that just make it feel cheap to me, I guess. Especially to represent a USA-made knife. So I'd like to get more of the other ones on the channel, though, that have surprised me and felt like extremely good quality knives from SOG. So I don't want people to think that just because I'm calling this one out that I'm saying all the new SOGs. I am saying specifically this one. The other ones that I've tried so far, which like I said, I'd love to try more, have massively impressed me, like big time. So there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.